Breaking down Florida State football right here at the Voice of College Football. Appreciate you all stopping by. We got our buddy Georgitis from the Renegade Report. Get on over there. Check out George's work as they break down FSU even more so than we do, of course. So that's got to be your stop right there with the Renegade Report. George, how's it going?
Man, going good as we finish up this winter. My birthday's coming up next week. Get a year older. Kind of ready for this weather to warm up a little bit. I was a little shocked with this getting back down in the 20s this week. You could feel it. We've been working a little bit more lately, but Florida State got some good news in the past week. We got some recruiting to talk about. Glad to talk some FSU. Been kind of slow over at the Renegade Report with no spring game and just kind of not a ton of things going on right now. So it's kind of fun to get on here and talk some FSU football today. And hopefully we get some news either next month. We find maybe something out about these court cases, get a little bit of news out of spring practice, even though there's no spring game. So I'm sure people out there on the algorithm are glad to see some FSU football stuff pop up and have some combo.
Let's get after this 2026 class. And as you just mentioned to me, linebacker commit coming out of Miami makes it 7 for 2026. 11 hard commits. No, I think I get that mixed up. 7 hard commits, 11th rated class. Not that matters right now, but your take on the new linebacker and the overall class at this point.
Yeah, you said 11th ranked class, but also, I don't want to say more importantly, but equally as important, number 1 in the ACC, kind of continuing to be one of the top teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and recruiting is always important. I kind of mentioned jokingly, Brady Smeagol decommitting was something that was, heavily, rumored, intimated as soon as Gus Malzahn took over. They made a push, they came out with really, complimentary of Gus Malzahn and stuff, but eventually he goes out of the class. Now with the addition of Karon Mayock, I believe that's how you say it, the linebacker out of Miami Central, a school that we went and got guys like Dalvin Cook, historically been a big school for Florida State. Great to get a linebacker that is just, a physical specimen. I think some people have him listed as an athlete. He's one of those guys, and can't wait to see him get in here. Talking to you off air, I also think he'll probably end up being a 4-star composite. I think currently, On3 has him as a 4-star, Rivals is 3-star type thing. He may actually be a 3-star on the composite, but no, he's probably going to be closer to a 4-star. Of the 7 guys, you got 5 are currently composite 4-stars. You mentioned it, the number 11 class, but everyone being out of Florida, that's a sight for sore eyes. The recruiting of the state hasn't been the greatest over the last 5, 6, 7 years when, the program hasn't been necessarily a machine. So to get back to the roots of the state of Florida, bringing in Gus from UCF, obviously, who already was recruiting the area and had some relationships that he could immediately continue down that path with, has bore fruit. And pretty positive with it. What this class ends up being at the end of the day is going to, depend on what happens during the season. Can you get a Jonas Winston at quarterback, or another one of the several names that are floated out there? That's one of the big parts of the class. Can you keep everybody you currently got? Vegas finally set a line on the over-under at 7.5, which is what we've all been talking about on all our shows. It's, 7 or 8 games. That's what Norvell has to do to kind of keep his job, get some momentum, kind of how UF did this past year. Of course, 1 or 2 of those 7 games needs to be a Florida or Miami. Like, if you just only take off the cupcakes and lose all 4 of your biggest games, Alabama, Clemson, Florida, and Miami, that'd be tough. Like, there's not going to be a ton of momentum there, but he probably keeps his job. So you hope you can win 1 or 2 of the good ones, even if you got to lose one you shouldn't there. But really excited about the way they're attacking recruiting. One of the biggest things we all harped on was kind of the age of the staff. Like, the consistency of the age was it was too much in the plus 50, 60 kind of area. You need to get some young guys in here, and you've done that with Pot Roast and, of course, Pat Surtain, and now Evan Cooper. And, Gus Malzahn comes in, and of course, him and Herb are pretty old guys, but The offensive line is a little different than the rest of the things, you know. So you get a younger, you know, recruiting staff that's more in touch kind of with this younger generation and the new type of recruiting that's necessary. And somehow you're able to hold on to Odell Haggins on your defensive side to keep that wisdom and provide that kind of mentorship for the kids while also having pot roast out there to, you know, get some big players in there.
So, George, you mentioned in addition to the quarterback, a few other players out there, whether that's in your eyes or what's being talked about among Florida State fans on message boards. Are there like 2 or 3 targets out there that this staff really, really wants to get?
You know, this is where you're going to catch me flat-footed. You know, off the top of my head right now, I don't. They're recruiting a ton of people. I know June 20th is a date to look out for. You can find dozens of names that are going to be on campus for official visits. But as far as being on commit watch right now, or anyone that's just absolutely, you know, somebody a key that they're looking to bring in, I don't have those names for you. For me, Jonas Winston, the one that I mentioned earlier, I think it would be really, really cool to get him in as the quarterback of this class to, you know, do the keep it in the family and come around. Him being kind of an athlete uh, as well as a quarterback that could kind of fit Gus Malzahn's system. I think that would be pretty awesome. But yeah, no names that jump off the top of my head right now, unfortunately.
George is stopping by from the Renegade Report, so check out his show, I believe, on Tuesday and Friday, correct?
Yes, sir. We've actually been, like I said, taking a break. We've only been doing about 1 or 2 shows a week, so just check for those notifications here for the time being, and hopefully in the next month or two, when the content picks back up, we'll get to doing our regular shows as much.